Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 120. Tonight, I gotta tell you a little joke. What do Smash Bros... No, I'm sorry. This is... backtrack. A Smash Bros tournament, Jeff Keighley and a rabbi walk into a bar. What happens this episode? It's time for Nintendo Pals Podcast. We're going to be talking a whole bunch of stuff. Game Awards, Smash Bros, drama, and games we're playing. All that and more. Greetings, fellow Nintendo Pals. My name is Andross. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Nintendo Pals Podcast, the show all about Nintendo and friendship. And I'm joined by the bestest friend, Micah.
Yo.
And Micah, I gotta ask, how the heck are you?
Doing pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good, he says. Each and every week. Well, you know what else happens each and every week besides Micah saying, yup, pretty good? We try to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts. And we do that through 5-star reviews. So, anybody out there that has not yet left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or Audible, hey, go do it. If you've left a 5-star review on one of those platforms, hit up the other 3. Help us out. It helps people discover the show and boosts us in the search results. And plus, you know, we're a little vain, so it's great to get compliments about how we're doing. So appreciate everybody that leaves us 5-star reviews. We got a brand new anonymous 5-star review this week on Apple Podcasts. So thank you. We can't shout you out specifically since you didn't leave a written review, but you know who you are, and you're awesome. Thanks for doing that. That's like the fastest I've ever done that part of the the intro. So I guess jump it back. What's going on with you, Micah?
Not much.
Not much. Hanging out, gearing up for the holidays.
Yep.
I got my Christmas tree in the background for those watching the video version of the podcast, which you can watch on YouTube and Spotify. There's a video version of the podcast. There was someone that recently in the Discord was like, yeah, I don't do too much with audio stuff. And I was like, there is a video version of this. And if you're...
Joke's on you. That excuse isn't going to get you out of watching. We gotcha.
That's right. Trap them all. But yeah, you could see the wonderful Christmas tree I have here and Donkey Kong wearing a Santa hat over here. It's actually just like a bag with Donkey Kong's picture on it.
And if you look over here, you can see a green screen.
And
a piece of paper with names on it.
Yeah, and those names are our Patreon supporters at the top tier, the PAL Latinum tier, who are... Is it just at the PAL Latinum tier? I think we actually made it so that's...
I think you dropped it.
Yeah, that's also at the... What level is that?
Try and take over the world?
Try and take over the world tier, yeah. So if you haven't already, check out patreon.com/Nintendo Pals, where for as little as $3 a month, you can support the show. And you get access to some exclusive stuff, like behind-the-scenes content, like... Pals Plus, Nintendo Pals Plus, the show after the show, where we talk about everything, anything and everything.
Whatever we feel like.
Yeah, whatever we feel like. It's a podcast that tends to seem like it's going to end at any second, but then somehow keeps going. That's just how it goes. it's a lot of fun. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff over there. But one of the rewards is you get your name on the wall if you're at the Try to Take Over the World tier. Everybody gets a shout out at the end of the show though through the Patreon Poke Rap. So tune in if you haven't stuck around for the end of an episode. To like do it because it's one of the best Patreon shout outs ever conceived by man. By man, I mean like mankind, like not just yeah. Anywho, why don't we jump into the first segment of our show, Micah, and let's talk what you playing. What have you been playing lately, Micah?
Well, I've been playing games.
Me too.
I've played some Splatoon 3. Planning on playing some after this podcast as well.
Ooh.
With the Big Run event happening.
Oh. Yeah.
I think that started like an hour ago or something.
I believe Mute Dog, who was in chat, is streaming or playing that right now, or was. That's pretty exciting. Big Run.
Yep,
Yes.
He
says I did.
Also played a little more The Legend of Valkyrie. That one game.
That one game. The retro logic party game.
Yep.
Nice.
Did not go particularly well, but it's pretty enjoyable. I think what else. Oh, I also played some Dicey Dungeons, which I got yesterday for $2 because they're having a sale that we will actually talk about a little more later in the episode.
Awesome. You got Dicey Dungeon for $2. I also got it on a pretty good deal. How are you liking it?
It's fun. It reminds me a lot of Slay the Spire. So.
Okay, well, now I gotta go play it. I have it. I just haven't played it. I bought it on sale at the suggestion of Hambone Johnny. This is exactly what I did with Slay the Spire.
Well, you haven't played it yet. I seem to recall, I was like, I'm pretty sure Andross got this game and enjoyed it. And I was like, and it's only $2. I might as well get it. And now I find out you haven't even played it?
Yeah, I haven't even played it. No, it was you were thinking Hambone. Hambone played the heck out of that game. He loves it. That was like his top recommendation.
Yeah, so. I mean it's pretty similar to Slay the Spire. It's kind of instead of like it's fairly luck based ish at times because it's involving a lot of dice rolls. But you have your like set abilities you can do. So you have like those abilities every time, then you have to roll the dice to activate them essentially. So it kind of takes over hoping. Like in Slay the Spire, you're just like, hopefully I get the right cards in my hand this turn so I can make a really good play. So, I mean, it's not that much more luck-based than Slay the Spire. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I gotcha. Cool. Anything else you want to highlight?
$2, definitely worth it. I'm pretty sure I played...
We played Mario.
NES, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was this week.
Yeah.
Time is an illusion. So,
we did a Mario Hour race rematch with our buddy Cosmic, and wouldn't you know it, we came back. Our training paid off. Our Dragon Ball Z fusion. We remembered to straighten the finger so that we didn't fuse into what is he called? Veku? Something like that.
I don't remember. I didn't recall them giving him a name for his failed fusion.
Yeah, he's like super fat Gogeta. Anyways, we did it. We were able to pull a win out, and it was actually a very close race. We won by about 2 minutes, and I tell you, Cosmic was flying like through Mario 64. I have never seen someone play so fast. The motivation to catch up and take it at the very end was very strong. And let me tell you, I really almost gave it to him. I struggled.
Yeah, we're close. You got down to like one hit, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a real bummer.
Yes, seeing as how he insta-killed Bowser at the end.
Oh yeah, he went through that fight so fast.
it was like if you blinked, the fight was over. And you're like, well, okay. Yeah, so we did it, but I mean, did we really win anything? Because we had to have the most unfair advantage of two of us against one person.
A win's a win.
A win's a win. We're not speedrunners, so it felt good to get a victory there.
It's nice. I chose all the shorter games and was able to finish a little early, and then just essentially relax and leave all the pressure to you.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, true. Unlike the first race, where you just killed.
Was the worst.
Killed your run.
Worst game I've ever
But
played.
to be fair, Mario Bros also killed mine in that one. So it worked out. We did it. We did it.
We redeemed ourselves for sure.
So yeah, I played Mario as well. I guess transitioning to games I played. I've been playing a lot of Spelunky 2. Like I know I've talked about it every week, but it's become almost a daily
new game.
It's become almost a daily ritual. When I get home from work, my son goes, "Can we play Spelunky 2 together?" So we'll play for a bit together when I get home.
You need
do
to
a few
introduce
rounds.
him to other games.
Yeah, but he's just really into it right now. Like, I sent you a picture. He was like, "Take a picture of me. I got the clone gun." He was so excited. He's like, "I'm going to look surprised for the picture." So he's making like the craziest
like,
surprise
wow, this
face.
is like, I feel like he learned this from you. That's like a thumbnail picture. Right
It
there.
did look like a thumbnail picture. It was pretty funny. And not only that, but my daughter requests that we play it so she can watch. She really enjoys watching the two of us play it. So it's fun. It's like a little family tradition now. I can't say I'm feeling like I'm maybe getting a bit burnt out with it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it still.
Yeah, that happened to me about 6 months ago. I'll bet.
Besides that, I played some more Pokemon Scarlet. I wanted to say Brilliant Scarlet. That's not a game. Shining Violet and Brilliant Scarlet.
Yeah, what are they going to call these remakes?
Super Scarlet and Very Violet.
That's terrible. That's the
It
worst.
is terrible.
The absolute worst I've ever heard. What are good color words?
They don't do extra color words.
Well, I mean, like brilliant, diamond, shining pearl. I mean, those are good
And then-
adjectives to describe.
Yeah, then you had
diamonds
Heart Gold and
pearls.
Soul Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Yeah, fires red, leaves are green.
So what is Scarlet? Like what? Like that's I don't know. While Micah comes up with the names for these remakes,
Dappled violet.
I've been playing.
Beaming scarlet.
I've been playing a lot of this game. I have unlocked the whole map at this point. Actually, I have like one Pokemon Center left to get, and I haven't done the first day of school yet. Still, there's a question about this
You're
later.
getting in trouble with truancy court and whatnot, yo.
In what?
Truancy?
Oh, like school truancy. I was like, what do you mean? I thought you meant like I thought you meant for
Personal
playing the
experience
game.
with that.
How do you know what that word is?
It's a very reasonable word that everyone has heard
everybody
about.
knows. Everybody knows about truancy. Yeah, I'm gonna show up and they'll be like, okay, this is how you do a Pokemon battle, and my freaking swole starter Pokemon just come out and steamroll every other kid. And they'll be like, why? What?
They're gonna think your parents just gave you their powerful Pokemon.
Yeah. Except if they did that, they wouldn't listen to you, and my Pokemon listened to me because I
Would they
raised
need
them.
to?
Raised them.
Yeah, that's new though, isn't it?
It's been a thing for several generations.
Used to be, really? Because back in the day, if you raised them past that point, even
Yeah.
if you level them up,
Yeah.
they still wouldn't obey, right? Okay.
Yeah, but in recent generations, they changed that. Thank goodness, because that's ridiculous.
I think it's awesome.
It
Prevents
puts
over leveling.
Yeah, it puts into place a way that you can make the game easier if you want to, you know.
I mean, but I feel like if you're bringing them close to that limit, you should just be steamrolling gyms anyways.
True dat. But having a blast with it. There's a question that talks about and maybe questions a little bit how I am playing this in the community corner. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I'll talk about it.
They read my mind.
I am having a blast with it.
I'm judging you so hard for how you're playing that game.
I'm having a blast with it. Super fun. What else did I play this week? I think that might be it for me. Not a hefty gaming week. Oh, how could I forget Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the new DLC.
I forgot I still haven't tried out those new tracks.
Micah, this might be the best pack. It might be. There's recency bias every time, right? But this one, I genuinely like all of the levels that they added.
Are you saying you haven't liked previous levels they've added?
Yeah, in previous ones, there's like standouts. These are the big ticket ones that are really good, and the rest are good, okay. This one, they all feel like they're really good, and they put a lot more effort into them, it feels like. I don't know. I think artistically they look more enhanced than previous tracks that were added via DLC, and it sort of matches the style of the base game a little bit more. In addition to that, they just made design changes to levels that I think are cool. Peach Gardens adds like a new third lap where you basically do the course again backwards. Take a totally different route. And then they added 3DS Rainbow Road, which is the new best Rainbow Road in the game.
Is it super difficult and dangerous?
So it has the like difficult and dangerous nature of Rainbow Road. It's not N64 Rainbow Road, which is just too easy and kind of like boring. And then it's just like, okay, well, this is just winding around. But it's not as brutal as SNES Rainbow Road. So that one still holds up.
The number one Rainbow Road
for being what it is. But this is like the best of both worlds, man. And the design of it's just super cool. And the Rainbow Road itself is so cool. It's like a semi-transparent road. So
look at the picture now.
I think you have to play it to experience it in motion. A picture won't do it justice, I think.
This Rainbow Road looks like garbage.
Of course you'd say that. That's what I've been playing this week. I also played a little bit of Fall Guys, tried out the new season, and it looks pretty fun. There's also a new chapter in Fortnite. I haven't got to try it yet. But
oh yeah, I don't even know if I played last chapter. What was last chapter? Nobody knows.
We definitely did at least one. Because
it's like a new chapter or something. I'm lost with what's happening with Fortnite now.
It's okay. The lore is a little not important. They're just like, hey, it's a new map, and we made this very epic story around it that doesn't really connect to the previous story.
I'm waiting for in like 20 years when it's like all said and done, and then someone will actually
explain.
Yeah, make it make sense to me.
Yeah. Good luck to whoever does that. Well, with that, we've got a lot to cover in the news segment of our show, so why don't we jump into that segment? But before we do, I want to tell you guys about our sponsor, which is us. You can check out Nintendo Pals merch over at streamlabs.com/Nintendo_pals/merch, where we've got t-shirts, hats, jackets, mugs, and Nintendo Pals flip-flops. Micah's favorite thing is probably the flip-flops, and my favorite thing is definitely the snapback hat. I ordered one of those. It is really nice. They use embroidery to put our logo on those hats, and they look really good. But if you don't like the flat build style, there's also baseball caps, trucker hats, and a good old camper hat, like they wear in half the Pokemon games. Just get that, uniform look. It's very cool. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Our shirts come in lots of different colors, and so do the hats and more. All right, so let's jump into the next segment here with the Nintendo news. All right, Micah, what do we got first in the Nintendo news segment?
Yeah, some Nintendo games won some awards, apparently.
Yeah, it was the Game Awards last night. I watched while you streamed. You were streaming some. Oh, you didn't even talk about Plock.
No, I was hoping to forget that I'd ever played that game.
Whatever.
I mean, I will admit that it has some pretty decent levels, but there are 2 levels back to back, which are just dumb. The first one, I mean, you know the levels I'm talking about, but the first one especially, when these fleas, you take like 7 years to jump up really high up in the sky, and then the flea just jumps off the edge into water, which you get hurt if you walk into it, and then they just chill out there forever. And they're a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
That is the worst level of any game I've ever played.
Oh, really?
The level design is no way. So bad.
There's no way that's the worst.
There is no level of any game coming to my mind that is worse. It's terrible.
Yeah, that is very rough because of the water.
Yeah, it's not that it's necessarily like hard. It's just so time consuming. And then it takes so long. It's not enjoyable.
Well, I don't know exactly which level you're talking about. Is this the first beach level?
It has the fish that jump out. You have to go right.
Okay, that's the second beach level. The first beach level also has a single point like that, because you do have to take a rocket to get up the map. And if the flea somehow gets out of the area up there and jumps down, it's a pain to get back up. And then there's also that level where you have to jump up a vertical, like all those circles, like giant circles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's not a fun level either.
Yeah.
That level is just too long.
Yes. It's like, okay, this is a somewhat good idea, but then you multiplied it by 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just not good. Not good. So, but so tell me what you did like about Plock. I know we're not talking news anymore.
I liked when I ran out of lives and I didn't have to play anymore. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't great either. It had a couple moments of greatness, but it also had a couple moments where it's like you got to jump from this floating platform to this other floating platform that you can't actually see yet. And when you're in mid-leap over the ocean, a flea is going to come from off-screen and hit you in midair, and you're going to die. That's not very fun. Every levels that involved fleas by water, terrible. Other than that, it's pretty good. And those last levels with the vehicles were pretty fun. They were unique, I guess.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Shook things up.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
It's such a weird way to like end the game.
They're like the final gauntlet, and then you just change up the mechanics entirely. It's just so bizarre. I'm like, okay, sure, Pickford Bros.
Yeah. Also, at some point, they said once I found Grandpappy's amulet that I could use shells to like make my jump really dangerous. I don't know how to do that. I don't think they ever explained.
No, they don't. It's like L and R, and then you can jump into you become a buzzsaw when you jump.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which insta-kills everything that touches you in that form. But it does use quite a bit of shells, which
like
are
just the points or the things you use to gain more lives.
The things you use to gain more lives.
Oh, okay. So not worth it.
It's kind of like a cool mechanic with the trade-off, but they didn't tell you how to do it, so they're just like, now you can use this attack. Okay,
God, that's cool, I guess.
I didn't know about it until like last year, 2 years. Have we done Plocktober 3 years now?
All I know is it's been too long.
When Third Strongest Mole did it, he's like, hey, have you tried this? And I'm like, no, what?
But if you don't have any shells, can you do it?
I don't think so.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I figured out the secret. Just never pick up a shell, then you don't feel like you're wasting any.
Oh, the perfect plan. Okay, well,
Also,
you were
actually,
streaming.
one more level, which is straight garbage.
Oh, okay.
You have to fight these guys with shields, and they take away your legs. So if you're on an incline, you just start sliding.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And every time you fight them, you have to be on an orb. And when you move, you hop. And you have to essentially wait for them to jump and throw your arm. So it boomerangs and hits them in the back. And then they launch up into the air. And you have to hit them again while they're in the air to kill them. But if you don't hit them when they're already on the ground, you can't get enough height to hit them again.
Yeah.
And you start sliding all over these orbs, and so you have to like move to not fall, but then that makes you hop up, so you hit them in weird locations. That was terrible.
You don't actually have to fight those guys though.
No, but you can just like difficult to get past without at least getting hit though.
That's what I do. I just damage boost through it, man. On that level, because especially at the points where you don't have legs, like what are you supposed to do?
That was almost a good idea, and I almost appreciated it. But then I hate everything they did with it.
Yeah, they really made the game very hard.
Jumping across the water was actually pretty fun because you got to let it slide to build momentum, so you can like jump further to make it a little easier. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Using that sliding of not having legs.
Yeah, there's like
we're
physics.
Gonna make you fight on these orbs, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna be the worst thing you've ever done in your entire life.
There's like physics in that game because like one of the very very first levels, you can skip a lot of the first part with the off-screen barrels that roll up.
The logs.
Logs. Thank you. That you just slide down the whole mountain and you just go cruising. Yeah, they should do more stuff like that. Like there are points. Like, I just want Plock to be able to run. You know? I feel like he moves just a bit too slow. And this is just that era. There are a lot of games where the characters don't have a run.
Have you ever heard of this game called Sonic?
Yeah, I have. Sonic runs a bit too much. But like in Mario, you can
there's just no pleasing you.
You can hold the run button.
Too slow.
You can hold the run button in Spelunky. You've got in the first game you had to hold the run button, and then in the second game the run is default, and you have to hold
the slow button
to walk. Yeah,
which I don't know if I've ever done on purpose. It's Spelunky too.
Yeah, they were just like tap. You're just fast now. Anywho. Let's get into the actual. Okay, hold on here. I'll just start the bumper again.
I'd rate Plock a solid 3. Actually, no, I'll give it a solid 9 out of 30.
Okay. The Game Awards happened last night. Like a 4-hour show. So it's a long time.
Really, 4 hours?
It's like 3.5. Three and a half.
Some math. They had like 240 Steam decks.
Yeah, that's right. And it's all thanks to the voice of
Christopher Judge.
Yeah, of Kratos, who gave a 10-minute acceptance speech at the very beginning.
It was actually only like 8 minutes. Just so you know.
Rounding up to 10 minutes, 8 minutes.
Almost rounds down to 5.
It was a long speech, man. It was a good speech, and he seemed very passionate about the project, and he did a great job in the voice. I've seen cutscenes from that game, and I just think he does a great job as Kratos. But holy cow, he was by far the longest acceptance speech I have ever seen, and definitely of last night. But Nintendo won some awards. What awards did they win, Micah? I'll let you go through.
They won the best family game,
aka the Nintendo category.
Yeah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands won best family game, and I know there's going to be so many community members out there that are ecstatic for this news. There was a lot of justice for Kirby in the chat, not in the chat, in Discord, and I think it's good. It's deserving. Switch Sports got a little robbed, but it's okay.
You wish. I'm
No,
sure no one actually voted for that.
Here's the thing, is that when I think best family game, I think of game you play with your family, and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is really a single-player experience. It does have co-op, so you can play 2-player.
Dare you.
But I would think, like, Nintendo Switch Sports is the only, like, multiplayer game on the list. Napsy says, is it terrible? I still haven't finished that, Kirby. No, Napsy. Otherwise, I'd be...
no judgment from us, but...
I haven't.
Other people will judge you.
I haven't finished it yet.
Well, I'll judge you for that.
Cool.
But not you, Napsy.
Next award.
The best multiplayer game.
Goes to Splatoon 3.
I wasn't sure if this is actually how you want to announce
No,
these.
I don't want to announce it. You should just read the whole thing you typed up.
Yeah, but I feel like it's better to announce the category and then the game. Even
no,
like
the awards are already
category.
given out. We're not announcing the awards.
Hey, I didn't know until I looked up this list for this news section. I'm sure there's at least one other person.
Splatoon 3, very deserving of this win. Best multiplayer game. Heck yeah.
Bayonetta 3 won the best action game. Not to be confused with the best action/adventure game.
Which went to Elden Ring.
I think that was God of War.
That was God of War? Oh, okay. God of War. Sweet.
If Nintendo didn't win and Elden Ring didn't win, it was God of War.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was like I feel like Elden Ring and God of War got like 80% of all the awards.
Elden Ring didn't win as many as I thought it would. God of War was
I want to say
sweeping.
Won like maybe 3 or something.
Yeah, but God of War won like 6. I don't remember. They definitely had best performance, best music, best accessibility, best direction. No, that one's Elden Ring.
No, that was Elden Ring. Yeah.
Was it best narrative? Did they win best narrative? I think they did.
Story or narrative? Yeah, I think so.
No one really cares about Elden Ring. What are you talking about? Elden Ring's pretty good.
And Andross said he was going to play it at some point.
Yeah.
About 5 months ago.
Heck yeah. And then I'll read this next one off here. Mario and Rabbids wins best sim/strategy game. Why are those combined? First off, simulation and strategy are very different.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
So it's just bizarre to me to see Mario and Rabbids like the best simulator. Like, oh yeah, finally I can simulate what it's like to control Mario characters and Rabbids on a field of war. Finally.
Yeah, it's very accurate simulation of those scenarios.
That's what it won. But it is deserved for like strategy game. I think it was a really cool strategy game. And then, of course, was there any contest for this last one? The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom wins most anticipated game. And I was watching this part of the show. The crowd cheers for each of the games that are coming up. And far and away, that one just got like, like super loud. And even Jeff was like, wow, this one seems to be a crowd favorite. Yeah,
it lost. And then so some other random game I've never heard of, probably.
Yeah, everybody is anticipating that game, which will be coming in a bajillion years. It feels like.
Hey, it's only like 6 months.
May, right?
Yeah, May. It's like 6 months.
Can't come sooner. And that's all the awards that Nintendo took home. And Doug accepted all the awards, the ones that they actually gave out a trophy for. Like, okay, so here's the thing about the Game Awards that I think is funny. Like, half of the things get an award. There's like a celebrity. There's Al Pacino coming onto stage.
Yeah, I heard about that. That seemed a little random.
Listen, Jeff, why are we trying so hard to like validate the gaming space. This is the biggest media franchise and media franchise, the media medium in the world. We don't have to have actors in from Hollywood just because Hollywood's been around longer. It's a smaller business. They should be asking the gamers to come to their events, not the other way around. It just feels sometimes like they're trying. Like they're like, look, we're cool. We have actors here. And that is how it felt with Al Pacino. Al Pacino straight up is like, I don't play a lot of video games. And I'm like, oh, no way.
Oh, shocker.
What? Al Pacino?
He could have been a huge gaming fan. I wouldn't have known. But
he's like, oh, man, I freaking love Roblox.
Yeah, that'd be the game.
I did enjoy how he couldn't read the teleprompter. He was like reading it, and then it was like, I can't see the teleprompter. he just straight says it. And then poor Al Pacino had to stand up there for the 8-minute acceptance speech. He's like, what am I doing here? I just imagine like my grandpa showing up to this award show. Like, that must be what it's like. Like, I have no idea what's going on. What am I giving this award for? Like, what is happening here? But it looks official. It must be what it's like to attend an award show in like a foreign country. Like, people are saying words and you're just like, that sounds like something I know. Anywho, so I went off on a huge tangent here. What I was trying to get at, looping back, is that some of the awards are given actual awards. They give out a trophy. And then other ones, they don't even read the nominees off. They're like, the nominees are, and then they shows the list for a second, and then they're like, and the winner is, boom, and it's rapid fire. They give the winner, they're like, congratulations. They don't give a trophy. They don't have anybody come up.
Like, chuck the trophy out into the crowd. That's what they should do.
Yeah. That trophy
just
does
rapid
look...
fire and hucking these.
That trophy does look like it could hurt somebody, man.
You got to be paying attention.
So, I think 2 of these Doug Bowser came up for. And that's Bayonetta 3.
I was seemed like action game and then potentially anticipated.
No, Kirby. Family game. But that was in the pre-show. So they also, that's the other thing. They also have a pre-show that isn't the actual main show, and that's where they put all the not as cool categories as they've deemed. Esports gets like 2 seconds. They have like best esports team, best esports player. Yay won. Who is that? I don't know. Their name is Yay.
And that's why they went fast.
It was just funny sounding because they're going through. They're like, and the winner is Yay. Seems like there was like a missing word.
It's like, no, you're supposed to read the name and then say Yay.
Yeah. So, but we didn't have like any.
I did recognize Faker. I have heard that name before from esports people.
So Doug came up and accepted those trophies. So we didn't have any like Nintendo Japan there. They weren't anticipating winning apparently with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which 100% was robbed. Best soundtrack. Far and away, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like, out of all the games on there, they're fantastic soundtracks. And I think God of War Ragnarok has a really good soundtrack that fits the game really well. But if you're going just, like, if you put those music scores side by side, Xenoblade Chronicles is just insane. That whole soundtrack sounds like the composer is writing his last music piece ever. The whole thing, all 8 hours of it. But yeah, man, that's okay. The other game was good. But speaking of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Micah, did you hear about Flute Guy?
I don't think so.
Flute Guy, prominently featured in the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 music portion of the show, was a gentleman. So you know how
Was?
Yes, yeah, I'll explain. You know how during the Game Awards they have at the very end before they announce Game of the Year, they do like a medley of all of the games, like a song medley. Okay, well they do that every year, where it's like the main themes of all of the games combined into one song, and they like.
I mean, that sounds awesome. I should go back and listen to these.
Yeah, you should listen to the musical numbers. This time they were really good. Previous Game Awards have had some like, why is this here? Who did they have show up? It was like, was it Green Day?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Do you remember that? You remember that? It was like, what is going on? It felt like Al Pacino showing up to give out an award, but in music form.
They performed Welcome to Paradise, the Game Awards.
Yeah, which had nothing to do with anything. It was just like, look at this, we've got a real band here. No, this time they had Halsey and Hosier, and then they also had this really cool orchestral piece. And they performed songs that I'm fairly certain were attached to the games they were performing for. There were some sick set pieces. Halsey's song, they came out in like cultist robes, and it was like, what is going on? And then it's like, reveal, I didn't know who she was. I was like, it's a singer. Oh, and I was like, oh man. And then they started singing. I was like, oh, it's Halsey. So there you go. Welcome. We got Brokish here in chat. Welcome. Episode 120 of Nintendo Pals Podcast going right now. And Fedorable Will, welcome. Yo. I love Will's emotes. They're so cool. Anywho, so the music numbers were really great. I keep getting sidetracked. There's so much to talk about with the Game Awards.
What were you saying again?
Flute Guy.
Oh, that's right.
Flute Guy.
I feel like I could have just Googled this while you've been telling this.
Yeah. Look it up.
And I would have known.
Look it up. In the middle of the medley, so not middle, like right at the beginning of the medley, it kicks into the Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which prominently features like a flute or like a little like piccolo instrument. And this guy was center in the band. And he was playing this instrument like he was the lead guitarist at a rock and roll concert. He was so intense. He's just like, he is jamming. He's head bopping and he is like, and smiling. He's having the time of his life.
Well, he got a bigger flute all of a sudden.
Yes! He switches instruments partway through. Not once.
I've never even seen that before. What
Not twice.
Is that?
But 3 times for a total of 4 instruments. It's like a bass flute, I think.
Wow, yeah, I've never seen that before.
Dude, the dude was insane. It was so crazy. And then you have to watch to the very end of it to see his reaction when they stand up to like do their bow. Dude's popping off. He's like, yeah. You could just see him. He's like fist bumping. He's looking at all of his buddies up there. Everybody else is like very professional.
I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, he is a real person. He is my spirit animal in musician form. Dude was great. So everybody online was calling him Flute Guy. Man. Yeah, we'll get to Bill Clinton. But first, let's talk about some of the other announcements that Nintendo had at the Game Awards. Micah, what's next?
They announced Bayonetta Origins, Cerisa and the Lost Demon. And that will be coming out March 17th of next year. 2023, just in case someone's listening to this like 7 years from now for some reason.
Nice. Bayonetta Origins, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very art booky-ish.
Stylized. Yeah, super stylized.
That's a word.
Not only that, but we also got a new look at the new Mario Bros. Movie, like a full clip from the film. And that was presented by Keegan-Michael Key, the voice of Toad, who delivered arguably one of the best Toad jokes I've ever heard, but it fell upon deaf ears and was the flattest fall of a joke I have ever seen to the largest audience, I think. Oh, it was bad. I cringed so hard. Yeah. So he comes out and he's like, everybody online argues about the thing on Toad's head. Is that a hat or is that his head? He's like, it's actually a cap. It's like a mushroom cap. And then he proceeds like, like a mushroom cap where they have all the spores. And it cut to the audience and their face is like, he got some chuckles, but it was like, oh, this hurts. This hurts to watch. I'm sure he is totally used to it because he does stand-up comedy and he's been doing comedy stuff.
What are you trying to say? He's not funny, so he's used to people not laughing at his
I am
jokes?
Sure he has jokes that fall flat. That was just the only one I've ever seen from him. And I was like, oh, because I thought it was pretty good. Like, oh, it's a cap. Like, it was just delivered not awesome.
I'm watching it right now.
Okay. Micah's watching that on the side. Yeah, I felt some secondhand embarrassment pretty bad. What is that? Is there a name for that? A word for that?
A word for what?
Feeling secondhand embarrassment.
That's just secondhand embarrassment.
Just cringe. Just like, ugh. But then they showed the clip, and holy cow, it looks amazing. The movie looks incredible. My wife turned to me and goes, "We got to go watch this in theaters, 100%." And we got to go. We're gonna go like to the best theater type experience we can do, like a full IMAX. It just looks. Did it happen? I see your facial expressions. You look a little pained. Yeah, it was, that part was rough, but the clip is so good, and the music. Fedorable Will in chat says he's confirmed that the curved flute thing that flute guy played was an alto flute.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Good to know. Yeah,
I noticed
that was a great joke. Presented very well. And he handled the almost no one laughing perfectly.
Oh, I felt so bad. I didn't think it was a bad joke, right? Like, it wasn't bad. But
I think
tough crowd.
People just didn't want to laugh too loud and miss what he was saying.
Right. They were just like, show us the Mario movie. Chris Pratt sounded a bit more animated in this clip. It felt way more cartoony than previously. So that's good, actually. I like how it sounded.
I wonder if he gets more Mario-like the later in the movie.
By the end, he's like, wahoo! It's just Chris Pratt.
That's all he says.
He can't talk anymore. The music in the clip that they showed integrates like songs from the game in this like orchestral. Oh gosh, what is the song? It's like the Toad House song in the city streets, but it just sounds, it fits so well. They're using actual music from the games. And this is why you get Miyamoto in on these movies, because every like frame there's something happening that nods to something in the games. You can see items from the games. You can see Toad's doing things that will that appear in the games. The world building looks like it's going to be just really well done. Anywho, I'm very excited for this movie. Very excited. Next.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it last week, but mention again, Splatoon 3's a big run has begun and also ended if you're not watching this live.
Oh wait, no, we didn't finish the Game Awards stuff. Hold on, there's one more.
We got one more.
Yeah, they showed a trailer for Fire Emblem Engage, which announced that there will be DLC coming to Fire Emblem Engage.
Expansion pass.
Yes, and that will have the three houses characters as emblems, like the three ones that everybody loves. You know.
Yeah, I know.
That I don't remember. I don't remember their names.
One of them has an A in it.
Mute Dog's probably still chat. He'll help us out. It's Claude. Claude is one of them.
That sounds like it has an A in it.
Squirtle and Charmander. Dimitri, that's the other name. And the last one, who is the crazy girl.
Edelgard.
Obviously. Edelgard. Edelgard.
All I know is two of them have A's in it, so I feel like I was pretty close.
Yeah, wow. If only you had guessed an E.
What? Dimitri doesn't have an E in it?
Aid, says Mew Dog. Edelgard. I guess it is voice acted, so they probably actually say the names. Anywho, I'm very excited for Fire Emblem Engage. The more I see of it, the more I see of it, the more I'm like, this might be the one that gets me. Okay, Micah, and then I wanted to talk to you about how the Game Awards ended. This isn't Nintendo related, but it's so interesting and so bizarre. I feel like we got to talk about it. The Game of the Year winner was Elden Ring. Shocking almost no one. Although,
I mean, it does seem a little weird that it won, but then God of War won everything else.
Yeah. I was gonna say God of War really seemed like it was gonna come for the full sweep, but it didn't. So they had the game's director, a translator, and two other team members come up onto the stage. And then another guy came from a different aisle and walked up with them. He walked up as if he was like part of their party. Just nonchalantly, he like put his hand on their back as they're walking up. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like nodding to them and waving like. Nobody. It appears nobody knew what was going on here. Like everybody just assumed he was with them. But if you looked, one of those it was a pretty easy game of one of these things is not like the other. These were all like guys, middle-aged guys that like looked like game developers. The kid that walked up is like just this like he looked like 15. Like I it hasn't been confirmed like how old he is or whatever. And he like stood behind them and just sort of lurked in the back while they gave their speech. Did you see this, Micah?
I did not.
Oh, you look this up right now on the side. And so they gave their speech, which was really cool. They talked about how they're making that this is weird to say at a Game of the Year award ceremony, but that they're planning on making even better games than this. So like that was their acceptance speech. It was like, well, this isn't even the best we can do. It's like the kind of a pretty cool thing to do at an award show. Just be like, this isn't even my best work. Just wait for what's.
Thought this was good.
Wait for what's coming. But they also did a thank you to their families, to the team, and to George R.R. Martin for coming up with the lore around the world. And then they close out. It's a really great moment. Everybody's clapping and applauding. And the whole time, this kid in the background is positioning himself behind them so that he is on the screen at all times. He like leans over so that he like you can see him in the background the whole time. The whole time. And then as it's seeming like it's wrapping up, he moves more center, and then when they're done and step back, he steps forward and says, "Oh man, I should have copied over the line here." This is the line that he drops. This kid who is not supposed to be up here. Okay, that's confirmed. Like this, he was not with them in any way, shape, or form. He just waltzed up. He said, "It's my turn. I think I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody." And at that moment, security gets up there. They're not like rushing up, but they come up. They're like, "You got to get off," and they escort him off. It is so weird, so weird. Like what on earth? And Jeff Keighley tweeted out afterwards that the kid had been arrested. He looked too young, and what charges can they really hold him on there? I don't know. But what this means, first off, this is funny to me. I acknowledge that the situation around it is kind of hilarious. But on the flip side, from the business running side, this could have been very dangerous. The fact that security did not get him off the stage sooner, and the fact that production didn't cut his microphone as soon as like something was clearly wrong. Like they could have cut it. There were a lot of things. But what if this kid was someone dangerous? You know, he seemed like more an attention needy child troll. But what if it had been someone dangerous? Like those guys would have been a serious risk. And I think that will be something that future business partners and sponsors and all that stuff are going to really be like, hey, that needs to be cracked down on. We can't have stuff like that happening. Because like as a game developer, do you want to go up and feel unsafe? You know, like that sort of thing can happen. That's sort of on the event.
Yeah.
Jeff looked absolutely dumbfounded. Oh man, wait. Well, there was like a whole chat going.
Yes. So,
while we were gone.
Talk about the weather and snow.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, we're back. Okay. So, yeah, and also, of all the things to do with your 1 second of fame, I mean, because that was being broadcast to millions of people, and including that live audience, and you shout out Bill Clinton as a rabbi. I don't understand. There's been speculation on who that kid was and is. There are people tying him to. There is an account that is claiming to be him that has done things like this in the past. And they baited a cameraman at an NBA game and then flashed a fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong sign. So like politically charged stuff. Not
well, yeah, that last statement you just said could have been a lot worse because you said that he then flashed, and I was like, he flashed someone.
No, he He like baited the camera and then did that. Like, oh, got it. And then that same kid who is claiming to be this guy, they do look similar, but the kid in these clips and videos online looks much younger than the person that was up on stage. Also did a similar thing at like a World of Warcraft convention at BlizzCon. Like got up on stage and was like shouting stuff. So just bizarre. And so that account is claiming to be this guy. And in an interview done with a journalist at Forbes, it's like, first off, I'll just read the bit here. It says, I've been chatting with him on Twitter back and forth because he follows him on Twitter. The kid follows this journalist on Twitter. He says, I feel like he's trolling. Here's what I've been able to extract. He couldn't talk about being arrested. He bought the ticket from service and like made sure to get decently close so that he could do what he was doing. He says Bill Clinton is his hero and didn't know who better to dedicate the award to than him. And he did play Elden Ring and said it was good, but stopped at the Tree Sentinel. Isn't that like the first?
Which one?
The first boss?
They're at trees, big trees. You fight the Tree Sentinels. I'm pretty sure they're all optional.
Yep. Anyways, it just seems like he's trolling, just wants attention. Don't do this. And please, I talked a lot about it in this show. I don't want to spotlight this person in a way that like makes you like, oh, go give him attention, because that is exactly what they want. But the memes around this have been pretty good. I don't know if you saw the ones where it's like invaded by a dark spirit.
That's pretty good.
And they like colored him red there in front of everybody. Just some goofy stuff. Plus, he sort of took the wind out of the sails for Flute Guy. I think everybody would have been talking about Flute Guy if this kid hadn't shown up and stolen the thunder. And Flute Guy was way cooler. So that's who we should talk about, Flute Guy. Anywho, that's it for the Game Awards. Interesting stuff. Drama at the Game Awards. I can't believe the kid was able to just walk up. How did this happen?
I mean, it's easy. He stood up and then he just walked.
He just walked up. Justice for Flute Guy, says Fedorable Will. Heck yeah, 100%. So that's the Game Awards. What a fun time. I did see a video afterwards by Ludwig, who was at the Game Awards and won an award for Content Creator of the Year. And he talked about this situation and all this other stuff going on. And he had an acceptance speech prepared, like jokingly he had that prepared, but that was one of the ones that just got breezed through.
Yeah,
he was actually there and could have actually accepted it and done something.
Did he just like stand up in the crowd and just start like cheering real excitedly?
No, but what is it? Christopher Judge? Is that who the voice of Kratos was?
Yeah, I think so.
He sat like 3 behind. So when Ludwig was talking about these events, and he's like, "Look, who won the award?" And he goes, "Look, it's me." He's like, "Boy, yeah, there I am." That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Okay. Now on to other new stuff. I thought we had something in here for...
I mentioned Splatoon 3's big run has begun and ended, if you weren't live listening to this.
What about Smash Bros?
Smash Bros?
Yeah, we can talk about Smash Bros. Follow up from last week.
The panda drama?
The panda drama. Oh, I like it being labeled like that. The panda drama with Smash Bros.
I just didn't know anything about it, so I figured out that you talk about it.
Okay, I'll talk about it.
I don't want to look at anything up because I'm too lazy.
Okay, I'll talk about it because I've been very invested in this situation for absolutely no reason. I don't follow the Smash Bros. Competitive scene, but this is so fascinating to me. Following the events that we talked about in last week's episode, I won't go into it here. I'll give a short summary. Essentially, Smash World Tour, biggest Smash Bros. Event ever planned, with the biggest prize pool looking to be ever, was planned to happen this month and was shut down by Nintendo pretty last minute. Now, Nintendo says in a rebuttal that they did not shut down the event, but that they did not provide a license, and that they actually encouraged them to go ahead with this year's event because of the effect it would have on players. However, Smash World Tour says that the representative they talked to said when they asked if they could still do it, he said those days are over. And so both parties are standing by what they have said in the situation. But when Smash World Tour got shut down, they accused and believed that in part it was due to Panda, not Panda, but specifically Panda's CEO going and strong-arming tournaments into joining their circuit, and that that CEO was trying to shut down Smash World Tour and pulled some strings in the background to do that. And then the floodgates opened. So many tournament organizers from all over talked about negative experiences they had with Dr. Allen, the CEO of Panda, former CEO of Panda, because I don't remember where we left off with this last week, but the first statement that came out by Panda was a bit of a nothing. Not much to it, just like Nintendo stands by us and this is how we feel. And they did say that we regret the interaction that happened between Beyond the Summit and Dr. Allen, where he said things that made them feel like he was trying to strong arm them. More details came on that. So Beyond the Summit made statements saying we feel like our experience with him was not good. All these people came out just saying he was out there trying to buy up tournaments. He was trying to strong arm people into joining his circuit and not the other circuits. Lots of people saying this. So fast forward this week. In the past week, we had a statement from Dr. Allen. Panda released a second statement that said that he is no longer CEO, and that they cited safety concerns. They would be canceling the Panda Cup, which was also supposed to happen this month. So it was supposed to be this upcoming weekend or the weekend after was the Smash World Tour, and then the week after that was going to be the Panda Cup. People were pretty hyped. The Smash Bros. Community was very hyped for December because it was going to be two big events back to back, and it was going to be awesome. And now there's none because Nintendo shut down the one, and Panda essentially was forced to shut down their other one. They cite safety concerns, which are valid. There are a lot of upset fans that have been doing nasty things to people online. Not cool, never cool, death threats and making people feel like they need to have police protection, and that they can't be in their own homes, getting doxxed. Not okay. This is not listen, this is Dr. Allen was a tournament organizer that did some things people didn't like. He does not deserve death threats. That aside, absolutely not. That is unacceptable, and the community should be ashamed that happens. It bothers me really bad. But all that being said, they had to cancel because they had no players. 80% of their team left, and then all the top players were like, we don't want to be there. We're not going. We're not going to support Panda. So who was going to play? Who was going to run it? Half the people running it bailed.
I mean, this could be a really good time for us to announce our Pro Smash.
Yeah, Ludwig beat us to it, man. He already announced he was doing a scuffed Smash tour. Also, he has money. Maybe we should start our own grassroots tournament organization. So Dr. Allen's statements out about this whole debacle, he first tweeted out, he's like, Smash World Tour lied. There was a second point. Beyond the Summit is bad for the community and toxic, and I have evidence coming. And he drops a 31-page paper explaining his evidence, which, again, it is not evidence. All right, so, like, this is just a ton of he said, she said, and accusations, and this whole paper is that. There is no evidence in it.
Well, he got some screenshots of conversations.
Did he? I thought he just had screenshots of notes that he took during conversations.
No, he had screenshots of, like, messages. I don't know, like, what messages.
LPD. It's a video game.
I mean, to
LPD,
be honest,
LPD.
I mean, you can cherry pick all sorts of messages you want, so it's not like really evidence.
Yeah. Okay, so he had some, like, messages, but they don't prove the points he's trying to make necessarily. It's a long read. I read through most of it.
Did you not read the whole thing?
I read through most of it and was like, this is all over the place. It boils down to him stating that he had nothing to do with Nintendo's decision to cancel it, which is, I think, true. I think that is true because, like, he doesn't have that power as a partner with Nintendo. That would be like Nintendo coming to one of their third-party developers and the third-party developer coming and canceling an event Nintendo was putting on. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I'm sure he was aware of things happening, maybe behind the scenes, but there's no way he has the power or pull to cancel events like that aren't his own event. Because he doesn't work at Nintendo. They're just partnered with Nintendo to do official circuits. So all of that being said, he then goes on to say that they were out to get him and that this is a combined effort by tournament organizers to abuse the goodwill of the community. And he insinuates that they intended to be shut down, to be a martyr, so that they could get more people coming to their events, which makes zero sense. Like, wait, what? I like, how can they? They can't do more events. They got shut down. What? How would getting shut down get more people to come to future events? If you got shut down, you can't do future events.
Did he say anything about future events? I mean, I haven't been following it that closely.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should go read this 31-page essay.
I actually have read this entire 31-page essay. It is the only thing I have read.
No way. You actually read it? What did you think of it?
Indeed. I mean, it's a lot of, once again, no, like, real proof.
Yep.
I seem to remember him saying something about how no, like, Smash organization has gone approved with, like, Smash in the actual title. And it seemed to be some good points about, like, why they were never actually going to be partnered with Nintendo because of a couple things they did, but
yep.
So, I mean, I mean, I could kind of understand that they knew they were going to get shut down, most likely because of all these things. I'm not sure why they didn't potentially just try and change things if that was why they're getting shut down. Just change your name a little bit or something.
Yeah. Maybe. But at the same time, it's like there's some interesting points in there. He then does like a smear campaign against a guy named Ken, who was like, did you read that part?
Ken Chen,
who was like the worst person he had ever worked with, the worst human being, and apologized to everybody at Beyond the Summit except for Ken. And then apparently this guy named LD is saying stuff about me. I don't know who that is. So Micah, outside, you read the document, but you might not know outside. LD is one of BTS's founders. Beyond the Summit's founders.
I was like, I didn't know who LD was either.
There's like no shot that he didn't at least know of him, because he's one of the organizers and was trying to work with Beyond the Summit. And then not only that, after this came out, an absolute flood of people came out and said that Ken was one of the greatest people they had ever worked with. And these are people unprompted from tournament organizings across the country, all saying that he was really great to work with. He was very professional. Everything sort of points to like Alan is in the wrong here, but it is all he said, she said. It's just he said, and then everyone else said. So it does feel like it's pretty stacked against Dr. Allen's side of the story. However, absolutely does not deserve all the crap that is coming from this. Like I said before, death threats, not okay. Not like we had here in chat. LPD was like, it's a video game. Yep. LPD. Oh, this is a great point here. I think we're just seeing the effect of the relative infancy of video games, both in their respective award and competitive areas. Give it another decade, and it'll mature. I heard a similar sentiment. I listened to this week's episode of the Kit and Krista podcast, and they worked internally with Nintendo, and they said that they are calling for Nintendo to stop. They're like, Nintendo just needs to back out and not be involved in the competitive Smash Bros. Scene. They announced the partnership with Panda like forever ago, and nothing good has come of it. In fact, since saying that they want to be more involved with the competitive scene, all they have tried to do is assert control. And their team, Kit and Krista said that the team at Nintendo in charge of, it's like Smash Bros. And community coordination. Like, there's a word here that I am looking for. But like the liaison between getting tournaments, like the public facing and organizing events. All they do, like all day, is file legal complaints and just do a lot of like legal work to shut things down. Like the team was originally set up, and the people on the team believed that they were going to be there for like, oh man, we're going to actually make this happen. But in reality, Nintendo's just like shutting down stuff. And that's like all they're doing with that department. So it's like every few months, something terrible happens. They get a whole bunch of negative backlash, and everybody that works on that end at Nintendo just probably hates their job for a few weeks while they just get berated online. And like, yeah, it's just, and so it's like, just get out of it. Like, why are you guys involving yourself so much, you know? I don't know, man. So this whole situation I found very interesting. I don't know why. I don't have a reason. I just like the Smash Bros drama. They also said, Kit and Krista also pointed out that their interactions with a lot of the Smash Bros community, a lot of these tournament organizers are they're not very professional because it's very grassroots. And so they partnered with Panda because Panda seemed like the most official, and yet the guy there ended up doing all this like kind of shady stuff behind the scenes, and it's admitted to in his statements and in the statements of the company. And Kit was like, "There's no
shady
way
stuff, just like all legit businesses."
He's like, "There's no way Nintendo had any idea that was happening. Nintendo would not approve something like that. They would be absolutely against that sort of talk and behavior." And so he was doing that, not, and so they're like, if that's the best of the best in the community, and that's the sort of business practices you get, like the Smash Bros community just needs grown-ups. That's how he put it. And listen, I don't want to downplay the community because I think the community has some really great people in it, but there's been a lot of drama in it. There's been like a lot of shady deals. Like there's been very questionable and bad legal stuff that has happened to a lot of top competitive players getting in trouble. Like there was just like a wave of legal problems, and yeah, it just seems like there's not a grown-up. We need a grown-up. We need somebody that can like really spearhead that and do it right. And Nintendo's trying and failing miserably. Panda tried and died, and the Smash World Tour seemed like they were trying their own thing, but apparently it wasn't up to the standard that it should be for Nintendo. So who knows? There were problems. There were problems there. There were problems everywhere. Anywho, that's the Smash Bros drama. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Do you have any closing thoughts on that, Micah? What do you think? How do you feel?
I think there's no real evidence that I've looked at, partially because I haven't looked at anything really. But yeah, I mean, don't be hasty. Do your own like research and whatnot before coming to snap judgments and whatnot.
And absolutely never death threat anybody online. Do not dox people.
Yeah, don't give in to the mob mentality.
I want to talk about this. Maybe we'll talk about this more in the post show. But the mob, the Twitter mob, the social media mob is keeping businesses in check. But who's keeping the mob in check? No one. So it gets out of hand all the time. Almost every time. And I think that's a problem. A major problem. Look at what happened with the whole Bayonetta actress thing. Like, people rallied behind the actress, and it turned out she was just lying. She lied about the things that they said and the pay. And it's like, man, the wave that happened there, this mob came and unjustly punished people that didn't deserve it, and like that's a problem. I feel like that's worse than the one individual getting screwed over by a bad business practice than an entire business going up in flames because the mob comes. Panda died. Like, Panda is dying because of this whole thing. And I don't know if that's necessarily deserved. We keep the mob in check. The reader, the listener, the consumer. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to happier news. was a long news segment. It was just a drama week, man. Go ahead, Micah. Sorry, I keep disrupting.
Well, here's some pretty good news, I think. There's the critically acclaimed partnership sale going on for digital Switch games until December 18th. And they got some pretty good games on there.
What kinds of games?
I had it somewhere.
What kinds of games do we got?
There's Celeste, $5. Dicey Dungeon for $2, which I picked up. Doom Eternal with the DLC is like $25 or something. Divinity 2's on sale. Or
That's the best. That's like top 3 Switch games. Divinity 2, guys. I'm not even kidding.
2, Stardew Valley, Portal Collection, Undertale, Hollow Knight.
Dude.
The Elder Scrolls is technically on sale as well. Okami and Hades. It's most of the games that I've played or have heard were really good. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. Death's Door.
Spelunky 2's on here. Did you say that already?
Heck yeah, I did. How dare you not know? Bastion.
Dude.
Axiom Verge.
Dude, these are like...
I've essentially listed like all the games at this point. But
yeah, these are like...
a few more.
This is like the best of the best in the indie.
Untitled Goose
space.
Game.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sale.
Oh man, maybe it's time to get Tetris Effect. Maybe it's time.
The only thing it's missing is Enter the Gungeon, and it'd have like all my favorite
indie games. Yeah, seriously. Maybe that's on sale too. It's just not part of that. I feel like it would be though. Well, nice. Check out the critically acclaimed partnership sale. That's going on until December 18th. Next up, Nintendo Switch appears to have sold more than the PS4. Nothing official yet, but the numbers appear to have passed by PS4's all-time sales. Let's go.
So take that, you nerds.
That's all I have for that. It's exciting.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart 8. Wave 3 is out. And as well as the new tracks, they have included a better item selection choice thing. I'm not describing that well.
That looks super cool. So now we can play...
it's like Smash Bros. You can pick the exact items you want.
Yeah, now we can play Baby Park Blue Shells only.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a blast for someone else to play. You don't watch. Yeah. What I want is just... You still can only play like 7 laps, right? They should let you choose how many laps you play. I want like 100 laps of Baby Park and someone in the back. I mean, if you fire blue shell at someone who's in first place and you're like 5 laps behind them, does it just go to them and blow up? Or does it have to catch all the way back up and just keep ramming people?
Oh, these are...
Because I want someone to do 100 laps Baby Park and just don't do any laps and just get that blue shell over and over and hope it just has to lap all the times around.
We should try this for science. Like this should be like a stream thing. How the science of blue shell. That's a good idea.
I think that'd just make it extra chaotic. If it just had to keep going around and around. I feel like it probably doesn't, but it would be funny. I mean, Adorable Will says it just makes a beeline, and it is able to go backwards down the track.
Ooh.
Which I did not know.
So you're like in super last place, you do this like crazy drift and shoot it backwards. I would...
Or more likely, you're in last place and you shoot it, and then it slams you again as it goes backwards.
I would scream. If in first place and it's coming from the front. You see it coming. That's horrifying, but awesome. Next bit of news we have here. Phil Spencer tweeted that Microsoft has entered into a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo following the merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King. Call of Duty to Nintendo.
It's been a while.
The only problem with this is that also in the news this week, the FTC sues to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision.
It's too late. They already entered the commitment. No take backs.
They don't own it. They don't own it yet. Well,
it's going to be really hard for them to keep their commitment then.
So the lawsuit to block Microsoft Activision's acquisition it marks the most aggressive actions against big tech since oh man, I don't remember what the name of that was. It was like a huge. It had been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, but why are people able to sue them to stop this? I don't understand. They're just they're becoming too big.
This is the FTC, yeah. So the Federal Trade Commission, there's too
much monopoly or something.
Yes, so they want to block the acquisition because their charges say that the deal would allow the tech giant to suppress its competitors in gaming. In the FTC's lawsuit prevails, if it prevails, it would block the deal. Yeah, okay. Duh.
Okay, so I guess that's kind of why I thought potentially, but I mean, I think that is it that big of a deal? I mean, I don't know.
Well, Microsoft was like, so Microsoft's fighting the lawsuit. They are committed to addressing the competitor concerns. I believe that they said
maybe I just don't think
Was it? Did we talk about this last?
Deal.
Yeah, did we talk about this last week? Where didn't Microsoft say something along the lines of,
"Yeah, playing Call of Duty or something like that does not make you special or unique."
Yes,
I don't remember the exact.
Yeah,
quote, but it's very similar to that.
They essentially just sort of slam the people they're trying to buy.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like a slam, but I mean, let's face it. If you play Call of Duty, you're not some special individual. It's a first-person shooter. There are a bunch of them. It might be in some people's arguably the best, especially multiplayer first-person shooter, but I mean, it's not the holy grail of gaming.
Dorval says, why Call of Duty on Switch? I don't even think Battlefield is on Switch. It's not the type of game I'd see on a Nintendo console. Except Call of Duty was on the Wii. A lot of Call of Duties were on the Wii. And there was one on the Wii U.
There are two at least.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2 and Ghosts, as far as I remember.
But there has been nothing on the Switch. Nothing. It made sense with the Wii and Wii U because the motion aiming is too good of a gimmick fit with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the Switch is doing A-okay without Call of Duty. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like them owning that isn't that big of a deal.
Well, here's some of the points that they make. I found the quote here. This is a quote from Holly Vidova, the FTC Bureau of Competition Director. Microsoft has already shown that it can and will withhold content from its gaming rivals. Today, we seek to stop Microsoft from gaining control over.
Everyone does that.
Gaining control over a leading independent game studio and using it to harm competition in multiple dynamic and fast-growing gaming markets. They are especially concerned, so that's the end of the quote. They are especially concerned with it gaining the upper hand in consoles, subscription gaming, and cloud gaming, and feeling like they are monopolizing cloud gaming, which, to be fair, is kind of true right now. they're the
yeah. But does anyone else want to?
They are losing so much money.
I mean, can you really monopolize cloud gaming? I don't like. Other people can do it if they felt like it. Right?
Yes,
like,
they can. They can. They're going to make these things exclusive to their system. So, I mean, I think it's one thing when people say like when they buy a small studio, but this is like the biggest studio that isn't Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. So I feel like the statement, we commit to coming to Call of Duty.
What do you
for
think
10
would happen
years.
if Microsoft was buying Nintendo? I feel like I could understand that a little more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me. I feel like it's not that much of a monopoly.
I don't know how I feel about this because
I don't necessarily like it, but
I don't.
That's illegal.
Yeah, I don't like it. But at the same time, Activision Blizzard has been an absolute mess over the past couple of years, and I was kind of hoping that like a big overhaul of leadership would come through this acquisition and maybe clean up the company and get things back on track, because it's kind of a rough spot. Fedora Will comes back and says the Blue Shell cannot go backwards. Just to verify. He verified it. It says it cannot. Good to know.
Go one lap. A little disappointing.
Good to know. Keeping the facts straight. Speaking of more news, River City Girls is free for NSO members through the 12th. So if you are listening to this on the day of release, it's the last day to try out River City Girls for free through your Nintendo Switch Online membership. And that's it. The news is covered. Whew. That was a huge news segment. Huge. Massive. So let's just jump on into the next segment of our show and head to the rumor mill. All right. What do we got cooking in the rumor mill? What do the rumor Pikmin bring for us today? MLB The Show has been rated for Switch in Brazil. Is this for next year's MLB The Show? Didn't this year's already come?
Nobody knows.
Let me check.
I mean, whoever posted this in
this is new.
Discord
Whoever knows. This was straight up Monkey Thunder, right? Like, it has to be.
Probably.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, 2023. Has been rated for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch in Brazil. Not only that, but we also have here the rumor mill, not related to Nintendo, but Microsoft accidentally leaked the release date for Diablo 4 early. It's coming June 5th.
Well, spoilers.
Sorry, spoilers. This whole segment.
I didn't like leaks. I specifically left that out because you're always like, wow, leaks are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a date for the game to come out. There wasn't like info on the game. And then, did we see anything for Tales of Arise at the Game Awards? That was something posted in the rumor reel, but I don't think we saw anything for that. I don't know. I didn't finish the Game Awards. I didn't
recall.
Yeah, I only saw the like first chunk. Once the Mario trailer was out, I was like, well, that's it for me. I don't need to see anymore.
So you didn't see that Tears of the Kingdom trailer at the very end?
Yeah, they didn't have a Tears of the Kingdom trailer. All they had was a Tears of Bill Clinton, the rabbi. Okay. Well, that's it for the rumor. So let's wow, what a segment to follow the Nintendo news. Let's go over to the next segment of our show, to the Community Corner. And in the Community Corner, we get questions and topics submitted by you, the community. We ask the question each and every week on Spotify. Got any questions or topics you'd like to see us cover on next week's episode? Ask them here. And we got a reply this week from Darius. It says, yes. Great, Darius. Thank you for having a question. Yeah, letting us know that you have a question. You can also ask it. So feel free to do that.
But that's not what you asked.
Got any questions or topics you'd like to see us cover on next week's episode? Ask them here.
So you did do ask them here, but that's
yes.
Like two separate things.
Yeah. He must not have read the second sentence.
Probably he got bored.
It's pretty hard. Reading's pretty hard.
Wow, now you're just insulting him?
No, reading's hard. I'm trying to relate. Thank you for
reading's hard for you doesn't mean it's hard for everyone.
Thank you for posting, Darius. We appreciate the interaction. Next question comes from our Discord from Presto the Magnificent. What's the best game that came out in 2003? Micah. What's the best game that came out in 2003?
Maybe you thought last year I had a lot of games tied for number one. Got another thing coming.
Oh no. What do you got? What do you got this year?
Well, I do have a couple honorable mentions.
Okay, so is there an actual number one this time?
Read. No, absolutely not.
Why? Why can't you pick one game?
Because there are too many good games in the GameCube era. Obviously, it's kind of wild looking back through it. Honorable mention to Soul Calibur 2. Pretty fantastic. Also had a link.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
I also have to give an honorable mention to Conflict Desert Storm, which probably only like 12 people played.
But for all those people that got that game out of the Walmart bin.
Oh yeah,
the Walmart discount bin. You guys know.
Convinced me to get that game. I was like, it's in the bin. It's terrible. She's like, it's $7. I'm gonna buy it for you.
Shout out to Micah's mom.
Absolute
legend, because it's like a super fun co-op shooter, super unique.
It's 1.3 million units apparently. That's not bad.
I mean, if it was selling for $7, heck yeah, it did. Heck yeah, it did.
That was probably the day after it came out that we saw it or something. Actually, the second one came out not that much later, but it hadn't been that like. It doesn't seem like it was long enough for a game to be $7. But moving on. Okay, yeah, okay. That's the end of my honorable mentions. And tied for number one game, Kirby's Air. Wait a second. It's Kirby Air Ride? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, not kidding.
My whole life. Wait a second. Known in Japan as Kirby's Air Ride. It's back.
Okay. So both. So both are acceptable. Good to know.
I can't believe I didn't realize in the US it's just called Kirby Air Ride. That game is fantastic. The best racing game. Yes, even better than Mario Kart. I'm sorry, but it's true.
I think I have to. It's been a while since I played it, so I have to play it again.
Fair enough, but they made a new one with like that city mode and kept everything else pretty similar. It would be fantastic.
What the heck is this? Okay, I'm on a Nintendo list here. Kingdom Hearts is listed. No, Kingdom Hearts did not release on the GameCube. What are you talking about? Whatever.
Fedorable Will says Kirby does not have ownership of his air ride outside of Japan.
So good. Will, we need to get you on an episode of this podcast. You and Mute Dog. Mute Dog, we also need to get you on an episode of this podcast. It's a guest.
Also tied Gladius. Yes, that gladiatorial combat game everyone has heard about and played, I'm sure. Like, it's essentially Fire Emblem if Fire Emblem was good.
You've never played Fire Emblem. You've never played Fire Emblem.
I played that mobile Fire Emblem on my phone.
That is absolutely not count.
For those platinum points.
Oh my gosh, I am
No,
so
but
sorry,
Gladius-
Fire Emblem fans. I did
Gladius
not.
is actually an
approve.
incredible like grid system, turn-based combat. Not, yeah, I guess yeah, it is turn-based, but
How have I never heard of this game?
XCOM? It's actually so good. It has like the great like quick time kind of events of 1,000-Year Door, for like your different kinds of attacks. So you have to do these certain little button things. Has a lot of cool things like that. It's just a fantastic strategy game. There's a quote from
Well, it's by LucasArts.
There's a quote from someplace I forgot where it's like, "This is one of the best Xbox." It also came out on the Xbox. One of the best Xbox games you've never played. And I feel like it's true. I haven't heard anyone ever mention this game besides my cousin, who I played their game first and then bought it. But it is actually fantastic.
And that's it.
And also tied for number.
Oh.
That's it. Do you know nothing about the games that came out in 2003?
I do know nothing about the games that came out in 2003.
Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is also tied for number 1.
That didn't come out in 2003. I picked that for
According to
last
this
year.
list. That's, yeah, because you did Japan or something, you cheater.
Oh gosh, what? This is a problem. Can we get on the universal release schedule already? What year does that happen? I'm so tired of that. I'm like, oh, this game, and then it's like, oh, that only released in Europe. I'm like, no. Actually, Europe usually gets it last.
And then also Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Fantastic.
Oh man,
turn-based RPG.
You're not going to include Piglet's Big Game?
I actually did see that on the list, and I was tempted. I almost made my honorable mentions. I've never played it before, but just based off the name, I know it's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't played a lot of games from 2003, so I probably will say Kirby Air Ride as my pick. That's my pick for number 1.
Don't forget honorable mention to Mario Kart Double Dash. Apparently.
What? Me? I mean, I can give it an honorable mention. Double Dash is pretty good. Although people that played Double Dash seem to think that nothing will ever be able to top it. Much like everything that people that grew up with the GameCube say about the GameCube. I just feel like maybe you guys struggle to move on.
Maybe the GameCube era just shouldn't have had so many absolutely incredible games.
Yeah, it's just funny how literally everything peaked and never got better for you guys. And I'm like, that's kind of sucks. It's always gotten better for me every generation. But hey, if you wanna cling to the GameCube,
so you're one of those gamers.
Yeah, that always is in.
Weak.
Yeah, is always enjoying new stuff. Not longing for the good old days.
You just listen to them tell you it's fantastic and you believe it, or something like that.
Wait. Micah, what? Wait. What?
Fedora Will does say that it released Wind Waker released in December 2002, which I'm pretty sure I did have this on my list last week, but it also says it came out March 24th in North America of 2003, so I don't know what is going on.
When was the release date for this? Okay, this is 2005. Remind me to honorable mention NBA Streets V3.
What?
Once we get to 2005.
Is it a real game you've played?
Don't get me started with you and Breath of the Wild, Andross. Breath of the Wild is the newest Zelda. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Wow.
Oh, you're so stuck on that Zelda game.
Or is Age of Calamity the newest Zelda game?
You shut your mouth. So good. NBA
also
Street
honorable
NBA
mention
Street
to,
V3. I saw V2, which came out in 2003, but V3 came out in 2005. And I gotta shout that one out because that's the NBA game where they put Mario, Luigi, and Peach as playable characters with actual NBA players. The greatest crossover besides Smash Bros. A sports game that I will play. Very rare.
NFL Blitz 2000.
I'll play that too. I'll play that too. But this one has Mario in it. And he freaking dunks on NBA players. He jumps, and he's Mario height, like short in the NBA, like
yeah,
2 feet.
But he has like 5 times his own body height. Vertical.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a baller, I'd say. All right, thanks for the question, Presto. Let's move on to the next one here. This is JDP. You should ask this one since it's for me.
Okay, just gotta close these 8 million tabs about all the best games.
He
is
the jump man. Truth.
Okay, let's see. Oh, but I see the real reason. It's so long. It's like the longest question I've ever seen in my life.
It's not true. We've had longer.
But they ask a question for Andross.
This is from JDP Cart, by the way. Jamie.
I mean, you just said that, I thought. So
no, I didn't.
I don't want to be redundant. Are you sure?
Pretty sure I didn't, but
I'm relatively confident.
Hey, double shout out to Jamie.
But asks, we've been given these new Pokemon games and they allow us to go in any path we want, allowing us to play however we wish, and yet you're trying to use glitches to get into areas that you cannot access yet. Wow. I guess my question is why, you dingus?
No, they didn't say the dingus part.
I can understand after playing the game in its intended format the first time, and then on a second playthrough, play around with skips and glitches. But on the first go around, it just baffles me. We have the most open game Pokemon has ever been. Why the need to break the game?
All right, I got an answer for this,
and it's not a good answer.
Not by Micah standards. Yes. I'm having fun. That's why.
That's a terrible answer. That is such a garbage answer.
It's so fun.
You can have fun your second playthrough.
I'm having so much fun, and once I just can't explain how great it is to me to just break it. It's so satisfying.
You can break it, but you could also just go through the tutorial first.
I could, but it's like 2 hours long, and
at this point you're going to go through the game and it's going to be like, you can't come into the Elite Four, whatever, you dingus. You haven't even gone to school, and then you're going to go back to your school and they're going to be like, we have no idea who you are, and the game's going to crash.
That would be so great.
And then you're never going to be able to finish. You'll have to restart.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw it and like...
Yeah, I must just be scared of game breaking glitches like that being caused mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that fear coming out, but those are...
Then the game's just going to be a drag when you have to beat all these gyms that are way under-leveled compared to you.
And if that's how it feels, then I'll probably restart, play a different file. I'm just having a good time. Like that's the way that's all I
disgust me.
That's all I really have to say about it. It's like I think I am having more fun playing this way than I would playing normally, but I don't know. I haven't played through it normally.
How would you know?
Yeah.
Maybe the game would be twice as fun.
But this is an open world game.
Not that open.
Yeah. It's open world, but you have to stay within the bounds that are set. Like, nah, I'm just having a good time. Yeah. It's your game. You may break.
It's just disrespectful to the developers.
I don't think so. I think
spitting in their face.
I think they already spat in my face delivering this broken game.
Hey, you know you love it because of the bugs.
I do. And you know what? What I have learned from this experience and from this question is that, like, hey, just enjoy the games the way you want to play them. If it's not the way that they're intended to be played, that's okay. If you're having a good time, just enjoy it. I definitely will be playing through the game, and doing what I have done is just it won't break it. It will just make it a different experience. Yeah, I'm positive. Although I'm trying to break it further because I'm having fun with that, man. So, yeah.
Well, I think we can all agree that was a pretty terrible answer.
I think we can all agree that I don't care. I think that. It's just, I'm just having a good time. And I don't know what it is. The freedom of just being able to, like, they're like, it's an open world game. You can go everywhere you want. But here's this tutorial. You got to go to the first day of school. You got to go on this path. And for me to just go, no, and break out. Now I'm just trying to do whatever I'm not supposed to. I'm like the rebellious kid in school. They're like, these are the rules you have to follow. I'm like, well, how far can I push the limits here? That's what I'm getting to.
The worst.
Yeah, well, I'm experiencing that in a healthy way. This affects no one but myself.
Debatable.
But myself. And it's just fun.
It affects how much I want to punch you in the face.
Fedorable Will is on Team Andross here. Mute Dog seems to be on Team Micah here. Where do you side? Do you
JDP Car is definitely on my side here.
I know. Yeah, you said
punch you in the face.
You said I like the phrasing of this just baffles me. Like, well, don't let it baffle you too bad, Jamie. I'm having a good time. Don't worry about me.
It baffles me a little bit too, because I mean you're like missing out on a lot of the story, aren't you? Like,
yeah, there is no story at this point, but there's gonna be. I'm gonna get to it. I'm just having fun, and I love the freedom that I have in this game because of the glitches. I think that's just fun to mess around with. This is essentially what happened to me in Breath of the Wild. I'll have you know, is like, here's the intended path. Because there is an intended path in Breath of the Wild. But they truly turn you loose right away. And I did not go anywhere near the intended path for a long time.
Please describe to me the intended path of Breath of the Wild.
Go to Impa. Get the camera. And then go do the Divine Beasts. At that point, you can go in 4 directions to get to the Divine Beasts. But you are supposed to go to Impa.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't do that. No, I was like...
But you didn't get the camera.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of things is the best part of that game.
True. That is a really cool feature. And
you gotta document all the plants and all the baddos.
Yeah.
And then just buy them from Pura when you don't want to go take the pictures of things. It's a real way to do it.
Nice. Yeah,
actually, one of the last, because you're supposed to like essentially try and get you to go between that like cracked mountain peak to get to Impa, right? Unless I'm thinking of a different part.
I don't know if you have to go through that or not.
I mean, you don't have to, but that's kind of like the normal kind of path. And I climbed up and over it, and the shrine like on that path was one of the last 3 or 5 or so shrines I ever got of like the 120, because like you said, that's a game it's fun to make your own path to get where you're supposed to go.
Yeah. In
healthy ways that the developer intended.
That feeling I am recapturing through breaking Pokemon. And listen, that's just how I'm playing it. Y'all are just going to have to accept it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Fedorable Will brings up a good point. Apparently, by not talking to Impa, you didn't have dragons spawning.
I did talk to Impa.
Cool dragons.
I did eventually talk to Impa, but you didn't have to. That was just the suggestion. In fact, I think the very first thing I did was run towards the castle. I was like, oh, sweet. And I didn't make it very far. Yeah, I got obliterated. Yeah. I was like, well, not going that way. So then I teleported back, and I think I hit the desert first and did the Divine Beast there. That was like the first thing I did. I was like, maybe I should go check out the quest marker that they gave me from the very get-go. It's that freedom, and there are a lot of people out there that don't really like open world games because it's too open and too crazy. They would rather have the linear path. And I think that there's a part of us in everybody that likes that. That likes to have some direction and guidance, some structure. But in this case, I am rejecting that and going and leaning into the side that just embraces the open nature of what this game has. So, yeah. I said sorry earlier. That was a lie. I'm not apologizing for how I'm playing this game. I'm having a good time. And that was just a courtesy. Say, hey, sorry guys. Sorry I'm playing it a way you don't appreciate, but hey. At least I'm honest. Now, coming clean. That was a lie. Next question. Purple Riolu asks, between Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which do you prefer and why? You can't really answer this because you have not played Scarlet and Violet.
I can obviously say that Arceus is the best of those games that I've played.
Yeah, so he didn't play. He hasn't played Scarlet and Violet.
So
you gotta get it, man.
It's kind of obvious I prefer Arceus because I was willing to buy it, and I don't even want to buy these other ones, so I do not prefer them as much.
Wow. Between the two, this is a hard question for me. I think Legends Arceus has a lot of pluses, but also has downsides that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet fill. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet also have some pretty bad downsides. So, big thing here, visually, Arceus looks better. The battles look better. The Pokemon, I mean,
some of those attacks are pretty intense in Arceus.
Yeah, I really like how Arceus looks artistically.
The first time you see Hyper Beam is a great moment.
But Arceus feels kind of like an empty open world. There's just not a lot to do there besides the Pokemon capturing and battling. Where Scarlet and Violet has towns, and it has the whole gym structure.
Who cares about towns? Wait,
I do.
Are you bringing up the whole gym structure? Haven't you not actually gone to a single gym?
Not yet.
I feel like you can't actually rate that part of the experience as being an upside if you haven't experienced it.
Whatever. Fine.
Just saying, you're the one that said that I couldn't give my opinion because I hadn't played.
You haven't even touched the game. I have been to the gyms. I just haven't done the gyms yet because they're not open. So I've been in the stadiums and been like, wow, these look like
nothing.
These look like they're going to be cool when I get to them. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has... I like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's world more. Because it is truly boundaryless. Like, you can go anywhere. And there's a lot... It's a lot more interesting of a world. But
That's
Legends Arceus, its battle system and its overall art style is better. So between the two, though, I think,
and you can catch Pokemon by just throwing Pokeballs. I believe that's not a thing in Violet Scarlet, right? Until you got to fight, you can't be all sneaky, and the Pokemon don't try and murder you.
Yeah,
That's the best part.
Yeah, you can be sneaky, but no, you cannot just catch them without battling them. You can engage in Pokemon battles similarly, like you throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and it does like a surprise attack where they are stunned for a turn if you've snuck up on them. But yeah, that it feels like it downgraded a little bit from what Arceus had. I don't know if I really like I can just throw up and sneak and throw a Pokeball and maybe catch them. I kind of like being forced into the battle side of it.
What?
Yeah.
But I mean, why don't you just always battle them first then? That's the way you like it. You can do that.
Yeah. True.
I just like the added option of being able to just catch them. I mean, and it makes more sense with Arceus because that is solely you have to collect and catch a lot of Pokemon.
That's the purpose of the game, is to do the Pokedex.
Yeah. But I still think it would have been kind of nice.
Scarlet and Violet, that is just one of like 4 different goals. Like you're supposed to collect the Pokedex, you're supposed to help fight the Titan Pokemon, clear up Team Star, and also do the gym battles and the Pokemon League. Like there's all of those things happening. And so to all of at the end of the day though, I'm gonna say I will probably prefer Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But I feel like, man, I want the pieces that I like from Legends Arceus in this game. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I definitely think Arceus is better.
Maybe you'll change your mind when you someday play the other games.
Seems unlikely.
Another question from Presto. You want to ask this one?
Yes, Presto asks, do you think the next Nintendo console will have paid online membership or free online?
Paid. This is even a question.
100%.
Like, there's no way they're going to go back to free. Fedorable Will prefers Arceus, and he's put quite a bit of time into both. So, there you go.
You have gained my respect back after siding with Andross earlier.
Wow, so fickle. Fickle.
I mean, I haven't played Scarlet and Violet, but I feel like just the style of Arceus is a little more my alley.
Yeah, you like the
Pokemon
collection
try
side.
to murder you, and I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, Blissey tries to heal you.
I like
get hurt,
alpha
they just run over and chill.
I like alpha Pokemon a lot as well. Like that is one of the coolest things.
They don't have those in Violet?
No.
And Scarlet?
No, they don't have like different sizes. They don't have like regular and then alpha, but they do have Pokemon that travel in packs where the like evolution is surrounded by a pack of the like earlier stages.
Pre-evolutions?
Yeah, yeah, I don't even know.
Pre-evolutions.
And that is kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The way that they are out and about in the overworld is slightly better than in Legends Arceus, I'd say. But still not quite there. They don't feel like these are Pokemon that are naturally in the wild. They're just kind of wandering out there. You know, because in Arceus, they're not really doing anything. They're just kind of out and just like walking around.
Living their best Pokemon lives.
Yeah, they're just walking around. They're not interacting with the environment at all. And in this game, they're still not doing that, but they interact with each other a little bit better, if that makes sense. It feels slightly more natural, but not
Except
much.
for the fact they don't try and murder you, which is, let's face it, the best part of Arceus.
They do try to murder you. They do chase
run
you.
At you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you just start a Pokemon battle. Weak.
What's the difference? The difference being that they will try and hurt you?
Yeah, I mean, this Machamp comes chasing at you, gets right up in your face, and he's like, whoa, hold up. Okay, yeah, throw out your Pokemon. I'll fight it now. No, that Machamp is just going to punch you in the face 4 times. You're going to die.
No, you're going to
obliterate it.
You're going to white out, drop 300 Pokebucks, and then run back to the Pokemon Center and have no memory of that.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? I'm back.
The Pokemon knock you out and then steal your stuff and then drop you off at the Poke Center.
That's 100%. There's a Machamp that runs around the world picking up knocked out trainers and dropping them back. That should be the lore. Oh man, so good. Okay, next question from Presto. This is from your turn, I think.
What question by Presto is this question?
Oh, I'm sorry. We already answered this. Do you think Nintendo console will have paid or free? I'm so dumb. Yes, it will be paid. Again, why would they make it free after they have made it paid and people pay? It sucks because it's not like.
How dare you?
Well, it depends on what they do with it. Because it feels like with other online services, there's like dedicated servers, and that's what the cost goes into. And I don't Does Nintendo have that? I feel like it mostly is peer-to-peer.
Yeah, I was like, as far as I know, it's
And so
mostly
with that doesn't cost anything. We're already paying an internet bill. Like, what do you mean? So I guess they do have games that use servers, but they do mostly peer-to-peer, and that's probably why it's so cheap. Honestly, because it's way cheaper than every other online gaming service.
Yeah.
People complain about it all the time. Like, well, they raised the price to $50 a year. That is nothing. That is still like nothing.
And on my family plan, I pay $7 a year.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Plus, the person I'm on the family plan with keeps forgetting to tell me that I need to pay them, so I just don't even pay anything half the time.
By the way, you need to pay me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not me. It's not me. He's not on my plan.
I just sent a message to them. I was like, isn't it like about time to like pay you for this? And I just got no response about that. And 2 weeks later, they're like, want to play some Rocket League? Yeah.
All right.
Unless they respond, I just didn't see it.
Last question comes from the one and only Mute Dog, who asks, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a lot of stages from different Nintendo franchises. If you wanted a brand new stage from a different franchise, which Nintendo franchise stage would you like to see made into a racetrack? We already have Zelda. We already got Animal Crossing. We already got
F-Zero.
I
mean, there's one obvious. Actually,
Excite Bike.
Obvious choices. Read my mind. You know what these obvious choices are. You know at least one of them.
Is it Kirby? Is that what you're going to pick?
Are you insane? Kirby doesn't need a stage because he needs Kirby Air Ride. I'm just going to say Kirby's Air Ride. It sounds so much better to me. Because he needs a second Kirby's Air Ride.
Okay. He just needs a new game.
He shouldn't be in it because he
a
new game.
I
don't want this one stage stealing his new game.
Okay, well, that would be what happens, 100%. But also, why is Kirby not in Mario Kart? Like, why? He should have been added before Splatoon. Like, what? Or Link? Like, I feel like he just fits with the Mario Kart vibes more than the characters they've added.
Yeah, I'm for sure.
Okay, are you gonna say
Sounds
Metroid?
like you're just stalling.
Metroid?
Heck yeah, I'm gonna say Metroid. But what's the second?
No idea. Golden Sun? Do we just go down the Micah list? Echo the Dolphin. Wind Waker.
Never mind, I changed my mind. It's Echo the Dolphin.
Wind Waker.
Good old Star Fox.
Oh, Star Fox. Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. Just like Nintendo.
That'd be funnier if it wasn't so true feeling at this moment in time.
For sure, before Villagers. Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot Villagers were actually a thing. in
wow, Villagers exist?
Mario Kart.
So what would the track be?
Every single Metroid level. That's it.
No.
It's 100 it's 150 laps. Every lap is different. You guys do something with like Magmore Caverns because lava's cool, and it's like the only name of a place I remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know Metroid enough. What I think they need is just like the levels are like really dark and confined tunnels to like capture the vibes of I'm thinking like Metroid Dread, you know, like where you're running through those. So it should just feel really claustrophobic on the level. That would be pretty.
They should have Emmys on the level.
Yeah.
You enter the Emmy zone, and then it gets that like slightly staticky effect. The music gets scary. And they're just bonkers fast.
How would that even remotely fit in Mario Kart? I don't know. Okay, so this is gonna be out there, but I think would be a very cool level. Minecraft. And that's all I have for the idea.
That's it.
I think it would go, there would be a point in the level where you go through a portal to the Nether. And so half of the track
could go to the end or something as well, right?
Yeah, half of the
places.
Yeah, so it's okay. So it's one of those like 3-part courses. And you start in like the overworld, and the overworld can do the Animal Crossing thing. Could be different weather. Could be snow, or sunny, or
seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah, maybe they won't do that. It'll probably just be regular grassy field.
And especially if they're doing 3 different laps, kind of a thing.
And it'll start in like a village, and then you drive. And at a certain point, you go through a nether portal, and then the second lap is the nether portal side of things. Ghasts shooting at you as you're driving by would be pretty cool. And then you go into the end. You fall into an end portal or something, and that takes you to the end of the racetrack, which somehow teleports you back to the start.
That'd be pretty cool, but actually Fedorpa will hit the nail on the head with what I was thinking they'd do to kind of make it easier, but each lap is the same track layout, but in a different world. And it would potentially have like different hazards, like you're saying, like the ghasts.
Yeah.
Endermen and things or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so the track layout doesn't change.
That'd just make it a little easier for them to make it. It seems like something.
And they just like sort of randomly generate the background.
That also sounds like a lot of effort.
That's kind of what they do.
It would be cool.
That's kind of what they do for the Smash Bros. Level. And that's where I am drawing inspiration from here.
I've never noticed.
What I picture is like that. That would be cool. But
also, I mean, Fedorpa has a bunch of great ideas. They also mentioned for the Metroid level, instead of the blue shell, they have the Emmy.
That is a good idea. But I was cheating. Mute Dog said, "What Nintendo franchise and Nintendo stage would you want on?" And so here's
obviously Master Chief. Then is your second.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Green Hill Zone.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Gosh, I want Wii Sports back. That's what I want back. Maka Woohoo Island, or we go to the next stage of things, Miitopia. That would be super fun. That's my pick. Mii's, bring the Mii's back. Or Nintendo Land?
I was like, that's not the worst thing.
Hold on.
Nintendo Land would be fantastic.
Hold on. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool level. Oh, hi. Guest cat appearance. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with the new tracks that they added, we could see like new levels, not new levels, new characters.
Like Samus.
That would be super cool. I originally was like, we're not going to get any more than just some new levels, but they added the item feature, so hey, we could get
item selection is very cool.
Get way more. Yeah. Well, that's it for the community corner. And Micah, I think that's where we're going to wrap it on the show because we have gone so long. So we'll forego the PAL topic this week, but tune in next
at
week?
Some point in time.
Next week or the following week will be, I think it's actually the following week, we'll be doing the PAL Awards. So be on the lookout for the end of the year award show that we do. We'll be putting out the nominees and the categories and nominees over the weekend, and you can begin voting for your Nintendo Game of the Year, best adventure game, best indie game. There's a ton of categories here. Best Nintendo content creator. It's all Nintendo focused. We do have a non-Nintendo category, and unlike the Game Awards, we believe in democracy. So it is completely done by your votes as a community. The winners are selected based off votes. It's just who wins the vote. Yeah. Except there are 2 awards that we do. We have the Micah Award, where you give your best game, and the Andross Award, where I give my game.
I totally remember that being a thing.
Yeah. So we will be doing that coming up. That'll be a special episode, so stay tuned for that. Micah, as we close here, where can people find you?
On the internet. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Micah Prime or something like that.
And you can find my stuff youtube.com/@Andross1 and twitch.tv/Andross1. I do Breath of the Wild challenge runs, speed runs, and variety Nintendo content. A lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff coming and going over there. You can also follow the show. We are the Nintendo Pals on Twitter, at Nintendo Pals, at Nintendo Pals Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and you can follow the show on your listening app of choice. That also helps boost us in the search results and rankings. Speaking of boosting us in search results and rankings, we have a Patreon. Check that out. You can help support the show through Patreon, and by supporting the show through patreon.com/Nintendo Pals for as little as $3 a month, you can get a shout out here in the Patreon Pokey Rap. And here it goes. We gotta rap some Patreon.
You just do the singing. I'll take care of the hard part.
Let's get it on.
We want to be the best that ever was. And shout out our pals over on Patreon.
LPD, Rizzle, Retrologic Day, You Dog Gamer, Schlim, Tor, Spanish, and Solo Something, Brian, Little Miss 7, and Cosmic.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon.
K-Man Katina, Third Strongest Move, Tim the Nintendo Daddle, and Seth Sturgill, Monkey Thunder, Purple Viola, Dat Fast John, and Lava Plays 2.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon. Let's get 150 or more. Yeah, please. To be a Patreon donor is your destiny.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.